As hashtag Restore the Snyderverse trends, a new rumor surfaces suggesting Zack Snyder is wanted to direct Wonder Woman 3. Hello, I'm Mr. Nailsin. Yes, but before we continue on with this, once again, let me remind you what a rumor is. Well, it's a claim or story that might be true, but then again, it might not. There you go. That's what that means. So reading this from Cosmic Book News, with Wonder Woman 84 turning out to be an epic disaster, and it pains me to say it, but it's true. You know, I wanted it to be good, and it wasn't. Of course, Gal Gadot and Chris Pine were very good in it, and even Pedro Pascal did a good job as his character, except that's not Max Lord at all. And Cheetah, Barbara Minerva was okay playing the same character she's played a million times, but that was about it. But the story was just terrible, and plot holes all over the place, and then no one caught on that Wonder Woman raped a man. And that was completely unnecessary. And a ginormous wall can come out of thin air, but you can't have the magic stone just create her dead lover out of thin air. No, he couldn't do that. He had to have quantum leap. Oh, Patty. Anyway, so that's the rumor that, and this came from Grace Randolph. Oh, I know. Oh, I can hear it now. But this is like all the people dealing and rumors. And Lord Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, Overlord DVD, gets a lot of this flack as well. The thing is, about rumors, you just have to weigh them by the likelihood and what's credible. Does this make sense? And there's some elements here that it would. But that's the deal. But it's also important to remember that a lot of this goes through a maze of sources, and people within it can hear it. And someone directly involved is not the leaker of these things, or I would think not. But someone who has Randolph's ear and says, hey, you know what? They're talking about Zack taking over Wonder Woman, and that sort of thing. But what was the initial or original discussion? Since it's already been announced that they want Patty Jenkins back to do Wonder Woman 3, she said all along she has an idea for what it would be, all that type of stuff. Since then, she's kind of jumped ship to Star Wars, but that's too bad, because talk about a sinking ship, huh? But still, I don't know that in the contradictions here on the face of it of Zack Snyder getting his Justice League back, his own vision and whatever, then become the guy that takes it away from another direction in the case of Wonder Woman. It might have a bad look to it, but I think more than likely is what's missing from Wonder Woman 84 as opposed to the deal with the original Wonder Woman movie, which in my opinion remains even now as the best of the DCEU films. Well, it was Zack Snyder. He was pretty hands-on and involved in that. He cast Gal Gadot. He, set that all up, and the photograph and everything is in Batman vs Superman and all that. And so, and a lot of his, action crew and that team that he has and everything was just not available. It just wasn't there. And they said Patty wanted it to be completely her own. Who knows? But that's how it turned out. So now it's like, we want Zack involved in the next one. And so that might be the deal. The other part about it is that Grace is claiming there's serious interest in him completing Justice League 2 and 3, which I would think he would have to do some rewriting here, because he's already revealed a good bit of the plot. He teased that there was some other stuff he didn't reveal, but at this Dallas exhibit with the storyboards and Jim Lee art and all that stuff, which pretty much spelled out the whole plot of it. Hopefully he rewrites that whole Batman falling in love with Lois Lane business. I'm not a fan of that. But I've always said I've enjoyed. There's a lot of films of Zack Snyder I really, really love. They're really, my top favorite films are Dawn of the Dead and 300 and stuff like that. I really liked his Watchmen. I thought that was pretty good. But his Superman and Batman film, it I enjoyed elements of them. I enjoyed elements of Man of Steel. Man of Steel, I think, is a better movie than Batman versus Superman. But Batman versus Superman is exciting. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. I just think it's a flawed film. There's elements that just don't come together. And not all his casting choices do I like. Most notably Lex Luthor and The Flash. I'm just not too crazy about those. But that being said, there was enough there for me to say, how and Batman vs Superman is almost not really a complete film, no matter how you look at it. It's this thing that's the connective tissue for this overall DCEU story that he was crafting there. And without the other films being done, it's never really going to be finished. So even with the Justice League coming within days now, it still won't be entirely complete. So it would be nice to think that some version of that he would be able to do. And so as long as the excitement and the hype continues over this, HBO Max is not going to be able to ignore this, despite what J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot might want for their Superman film. It's like, well, you'll get your little film like Matt Reeves got his little Batman film. But we might want to move on with this one. When it becomes so overwhelming successful, you can't ignore that, despite what friends you have and all of that, and despite the really way too much money they spent on Bad Robot. But that's just too bad. And all he's got to show for himself so far, what does he lead with? Well, race swapping, and probably he's going to throw in some gender swapping at some point. So stuff like that. And every time someone does that, I'm like, uh-oh, you don't really have an idea or a script or even a plot, do you? Because damn near every time they don't, It's like Terminator Dark Fate. It was all, woman power and stuff like that. But they didn't have anything new. There was no real story there. There was nothing. It was just a ripoff of the previous films. Granted, the other sequels did the same thing. But it's like, after how many? And you do it again? No. But that's all they had. So that's why that doesn't look so great. That's always a warning sign of how bad it can be. So as far as I know, Patty and Zach get along, but it's gonna be seen as, oh, she needed Zach's help to get, and that's just too bad. Wonder Woman 84 came out. I saw it. I'm sorry, you dropped the ball on that one, and in a lot of ways, big time. So I don't know how you miss mistakes like that, but you did. And so, I mean, it might be the end of their friendship after doing so. But, we'll see. So hopefully, maybe we'll see Justice League 2 and 3 after all. And perhaps Wonder Woman 3 will address, why didn't Wonder Woman help Superman fight the Kryptonians in Man of Steel? I mean, they were going to destroy the planet. She shows up for Doomsday, which, don't get me wrong, was a serious threat, but man, the Kryptonians almost destroyed wiped out all humanity, and she just, I don't know, maybe she was taking a nap during all that and had her headphones on. I don't know. But, there's problems there. So, but I think the third film is supposed to be set in contemporary time, so I don't know if they'll deal with her past anymore or anything. But anyway, if anything, any element of this is true, and that's often another part of this, is that with rumors, it's like some of it could be way off, with an element of it being absolutely true. I mean, Ben Affleck, he signed to come back as Batman. Well, his only coming back as Batman was reshoots for Snyder Cut, and of course he's going to be in the Flash film. So that's probably all it was, but a lot of people took it to mean, oh, this means he's going to do his Batman film. I would hope that would happen in some form or fashion, but I'm thinking not so. This is the only sort of sign here, and the only hope that Zack Snyder's vision of things coming, returning and being finished, was hype and excitement over his Snyder Cut. And if it performs well, then it kind of forces the issue, and that's what matters. It has to be that on top of people tweeting all the time. That's I know it got the interest. But it was more than just that. There was a lot of other petitions, even the snail mail campaigns that were done and stuff like that. And then, of course, Daddy AT&T coming in saying, we got a lot of debt. What's the most exciting thing fans want? Because they got to make HBO Max work. And this was kind of a no-brainer. They found themselves in. Recently, I don't know what happened. It changes from a miniseries to just a 4-hour movie. And now there's announcements for a new Superman with J.J. Abrams and stuff like that. Like, what's going on? So who knows? Funny how we don't get a whole lot of details there. We just get announcement for other projects and stuff. And Snyder sounding pretty pessimistic about the odds that he would get to do it. But this is one of these little inklings, especially if the performance does well. It changes the game, the playing field here, and it gives the opportunity for this to happen. So that's always been the case, whether he Wonder Woman 3 is involved in that. And I guess it would be, because that's still the DCEU Wonder Woman. And so that's one of the positives here. That is, it's possible to restore that. Whether we get Man of Steel and Ben Affleck's Batman, even with all this. But then again, the hype springs eternal. Maybe so. Just don't know. Plus, maybe they really are embracing multiverse, so they don't care if there's 2 different or 3 different Superman, which in this case there would be. You got the TV Superman, which is pretty solid, which people wanting Jeff Johns to go away. If I'm Warner Brothers, I'm like, well, tough. You just have to deal with it because he's producing and it's working. So that's how you judge an employee, So yeah, maybe that's what it'll be. And so if you can have 3 Superman, you're going to have 2 Batman, or 3 or 4. I don't. Anyway, so maybe a positive sign for the Snyderverse. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.